know who could possibly want to hurt her the way that they hurt her. Because this was brutal, what they did to my kid.
Nicole Odom says she's living a nightmare she never could have imagined. Her 26-year-old daughter, Brandy Odom, identified as the woman whose dismembered body was found dumped in Canarsie Park.
I'm still in a state of shock. I'm still not really believing that I just went and ID'd my daughter today.
A woman walking her dog made the gruesome discovery Monday evening. Part of a naked body covered in leaves, the face bruised and swollen. Police sources say the arms and legs had been cut off and found nearby. Odom says she had no idea her daughter was in any trouble until yesterday, when the family saw a news report mentioning the unidentified body had a distinctive tattoo.
I said, I'm going to the precinct to make sure that this is not my kid.
But in her gut, she says she knew it was. Police sources believe Brandy was killed and dismembered someplace else, then dumped here.
We ask today, God, for your strength. We ask for your comfort.
Tonight, a vigil was held across from the park on Seaview Avenue, as many in the community try to grapple with the murder.
We have to be diligent with regards to getting whoever committed this crime arrested.
Police and loved ones are still in search of so many answers.
Who would want to do this to your daughter?
That's the same question that I'm trying to ask myself, because my daughter was a loving child. She was sweet. She didn't have any enemies.
At this point, it is unclear if Brandy Odom was targeted at random or if she knew her killer. A $2,500 reward is being offered for information in the case, and another vigil is set for tomorrow night inside the park at 7 o'clock.
Yo, YouTube. What's going on? Trey back again, hit you with a video. Now, this video right here was highly requested by my subscribers, my family, I call them, in New York City, in the 5 surrounding areas. You know who you are. And big shout out to you all. Sorry that it took a day or two too long, but I was very busy with my other job and everything, doing what I had to do over there, running that, make sure that business was straight. But it's a very troubling story. And this story comes out of Brooklyn, New York, by way of Canarsie Park, where we have a young lady by the name of Brandy Odom who was basically slaughtered. Now, this story is very graphic and detailed, but I'm gonna try my best to keep it clean as possible. But it troubles me and it hurts me so much. So if I slip up, do not get mad at me, because, you know, I feel these people pain. You know, that's another reason why I do these videos, because, you know, I feel people pain, being an empath, as you call it. But anyway, we have a woman who was basically found in a park by a guy walking his dog, and they found what they thought seemed to be was a Barbie doll at first, some kind of doll or something. You know how people have these big old extra large dolls and stuff, and they'll get tired of them over time and just throw them away. So I guess they was walking in the park, and they walked up on this what they thought was a dog, not a dog, excuse me, a doll. And come to find out, it was Miss Brandy Odom with her limbs dismembered, and also her head was still attached to her torso. And then that's very troubling. Imagine if you out there walking your pet, your dog or whatever, and you come across this. Me, I might shit on myself, excuse me, and I might just take off running, crying. You never know, because I ain't seen no stuff like that and don't want to see it. But that's a very sad situation. My heart goes out to her mom, Miss Nicole Odom, also. That's very tragic that happened to your daughter. And I hope whoever this bastard is, whether it's male or female, whether it's 1, 2, 3 people, I hope they all get caught, and I hope they all be brought to justice. I'm going to read a snippet from this story. I'm going to give my opinion. Sure, let's go. Police hunt for killer who butchered Brooklyn woman as family neighbors try to make sense of her death. Hell, I'm still trying to make sense of it. Nicole Odom struggled to wrap her head around the horror. Her middle child, so joyous and sweet, slain and butchered by a madman who dumped the body parts in a Brooklyn park. Now, why would you dump the body in the Brooklyn park when you got a river not too far from there? Why would you do that? Is it a scare tactic? Is this a warning to her family or somebody may have threatened somebody else? Or is it illegal activity involved, drugs, or some kind of robbery, somebody know information? It got to be something, unless you just have a sick, sadistic person out there who's very perverted and demented. That could be a possibility also. Let's continue. She says, I wouldn't wish this tragedy on my worst enemy, Odom told the Daily News. On the morning after learning of her daughter Brandy's gruesome death, a manhunt continued Wednesday for the savage killer of Brandy Odom, 26 years old, young lady, basically just starting her life out, whose remains were identified only after her sister spied the telltale tattoo chocolate inked on the victim's left breast. That's sad right there. Life does not promise a tomorrow, said the mom, growing teary-eyed. You got to love for today. Everybody's not in their right state of mind that's walking around New York City. And that's true. And mom also, Miss Nicole, that goes to say all across this world. You know what I'm saying? But since you're living in New York, I understand exactly what you're saying. That's a lot of mentally ill people. But to me, more than that, they're very sadistic, demented people. Because you can have a mental illness and still not butcher somebody, chop them up. And also, you can have a mental illness and still, you know what I'm saying, be able to be an asset to society without going around hurting people or becoming a burden to society, if you will. Now, cops believe the killing took place outside Canarsie Park, and Brandy's dismembered remains were left there only a short time before the body parts were discovered strewn across its 132 acres. Now, who take out the time to dismember a body, then walk all across that big ass park and they throw a leg here, throw a toe there, throw a kneecap here? I mean, who does that? I don't understand that right there. That's why I say whoever did this, whoever has some parts of doing it, are very sadistic people, and they need to be executed, hopefully on sight if possible. If not, get them in there and get them out quick. Anyway, she says, the mom says, I don't know of her having any enemies, said Nicole Odom, standing forlornly at her sheepshed bay door. I don't know who could have possibly wanted to do this. Brandy was a joyful child. She liked to cook, she liked to draw, she liked to do hair. She was a bright young lady. So I don't know of anyone who would want to do this to her. And that's a good point too also. That's why you have to look into the people that came that she associated with, whether you go through some of the Facebook posts, some of the stuff that messages or whatnot, or this could be just a random act. And I'm led to believe that this was not really a random act. This person most likely was stalking this woman, or people, whoever was stalking this woman, and caught her at the right time. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. Just a sad situation. But I do believe this person was just not some random person out the clear blue. I believe this person was actually stalking this victim, because as you will see by most of these serial killers and these people that commit these heinous acts, they stalk the prey first. That's what predators do. Anyway, the victim's naked torso and head were discovered Monday evening by a dog walker in the sprawling park, with her severed arms, legs, and other body parts wrapped in plastic bags and left elsewhere. Detectives trying to retrace her activities in the hours before she was carved up reviewed surveillance video from around the park in hopes of spotting a suspect. If you got surveillance video, what's the problem then? The mom says, I want them caught, said Nicole Odom, her voice calm despite the crushing news. I need them caught for my satisfaction and so my daughter can rest in peace. The city medical examiner did not determine a cause of death Wednesday, although police sources indicate Odom was possibly strangled before the fugitive killer hacked up the courts. Most likely she probably was. Now, police found a knife in a trash can 50 yards from where the torso was found, but it was unclear whether it was related to the crime. Brandy Odom lived with an aunt at the Bayview houses in Canarsie, about 15 blocks from the thatch of trees where her head and torso turned up. The body was partially covered in leaves, cops said. That's sad. That's just pretty just pathetic. Now, family members hope for the best, but feared for the worst when police at the 69 precinct put out word about the tattoo. Brandy was a sweet girl, said Terrell Hunter, 33 years old, who lived in the same building as Odom. I just had tears in my eyes when I heard. It's crazy. I can't believe what they did to that girl. He recalled Brandy as a hard worker who appeared in a security uniform and rejected his romantic overtures. She was always telling me she has a boyfriend, so she has some kind of morals and stuff like that. So basically, Miss Nicole, her mom, did try to raise her the right way, because she went out there just being any kind of old thought or any kind of hoe or anything like that. She was trying to work and do her thing as most young ladies should be doing. Now, Odom's Facebook page listed her as single, and her mom didn't know of any boyfriend. She probably just didn't want to holler at the guy then. If that's the case, and she was telling them that she had a boyfriend. You know how y'all do sometimes. And men, we do it also too. But you women, y'all quick to do it anyway. Especially if you want to holler at nobody. Some of you all ain't gonna lead them on. Some of you all do. But anyway, let's continue the story. Now, the victim's face was swollen and bruised, with her arms severed at the elbows, cops said. Her legs were hacked just below her buttocks, a source said. Oh my God, my heart just stopped, said Anna Haynes, 62, a former Flatbush native and neighbor of the victim. My heart just stopped. She was nice. She used to call me Mama Anna. A vigil for Odom is expected to take place at the park Thursday evening. Some wicked people did something to that girl, said Anastasia. This is very sad. I have goosebumps. I feel so sad to hear it. I can't believe it. I can also. Now, the victim was the middle of three sisters, a high school graduate and hairdresser who never caused any problems at home, according to Nicole. The sweetest girl, the mom said. I want the public to know that this was somebody's child. She has people that love her and care about her. She wasn't a runaway kid. She wasn't a bad kid. And I really want the public to know that, because they'll accuse your child of being a runaway, a problem child, or they were just out looking for trouble. But this right here was a grown woman, 26 years old. So far as being a runaway kid, that's completely out the way right there. But I guess they're trying to say, well, she didn't have no trouble past. So evidently, you know, if she was a good kid, most likely she's going to grow up to be a good adult also. So it's just like a random act that just happened out the clear blue. Now, Odom had no major history of problems with the law, although police reported one arrest for loitering with suspicions of prostitution in 2012. Now, that's strange right there. Now, if it's 2012, 2018, so that's 6 years. So at 20 years old, they had suspicion of her prostituting. This is what they say now. They have a police record of one arrest for loitering with suspicion of prostitution in 2012. So was she out there basically trying to prostitute her body and got caught with the wrong John or with the wrong person and met up with Satan himself, and this is what happened to her? I don't know. Let me know what you all think. But that's very suspicious that would stand out right there, because only way they can do you like that if you in a suspected area, or if you dress a certain way and have certain paraphernalia on you that makes it seem like you out here selling yourself for sex. I don't know. Anyway, her mom was adamant that her daughter wasn't involved in any illegal activity. Many in the Brooklyn neighborhood share Nicole Odom's disbelief at the gruesome killing of a local woman. Brandy is a very intelligent and educated young woman, said community advocate Tony Herbert, who offered support for the Odom family. Everyone is bewildered with what has taken place, and they hope that whoever is responsible is brought to justice, because they damn sure ain't gonna turn themselves in. You just gonna have to catch this person right here. Nicole Odom left to plan a funeral for her daughter, tried in vain to make sense of what happened. I just wish I had her here with me. A parent is not supposed to bury their child. She had her whole life ahead of her. Words can't even begin to describe how I feel, the mom said. She was my heart. She was my child. And I understand the mom's sympathy and pain. But at the same time, let's go back to this incident that happened in 2012 when police arrested her on suspicion of prostitution. Now, true, a lot of police do arrest people for just suspicion of anything. Sometimes they be guilty, sometimes they be innocent. But for her sake and for her credibility, I hope that she wasn't out there trying to sell her body and end up coming across an evil ass person, or Satan himself, if you will. But let me know what you all think about this situation. And to Miss Nicole, I know nothing I can say or nothing anybody can say that would make you feel any kind of comfort or warmth about your daughter. But all I can say is that you just have to remember one thing. You did your part. And you raise your child to a certain age, it's on them what they do with their lives. Whether she was out there gang banging, whether she was out there selling drugs. I'm not saying she did none of that, because the story doesn't say she did that. But I'm making a point. You can only take them so far, then they have to take themselves the rest of the way. You can guide them along the way and try to push them back in line when they fall out of line. But at the same time, it's their life. So let's hope for her sake, and also for your sanity, that she wasn't doing anything wrong, that she just got caught up at the wrong place at the wrong time. But let me know what you all think about this situation right here. And to my people in New York City, especially in the Brooklyn area, Canarsie area over there, the Bayview houses. Let me know what you all think and what all you have heard about this story right here. And if anybody have information, you know who to contact, because you cannot let things like this go unsolved, because I guarantee you, if somebody have the heart and the gall and the audacity to do this, they wouldn't mind doing it to anybody else, because it takes an evil person, number one, to kill somebody, but to take time out to chop them up, to strangle them. That's personal when you hands on with it. A lot of people can stand back and shoot a gun, but it takes a different type of person to get up on you and cut you to pieces. Think about that. If you like the video, push that like button. If you like, subscribe to the channel. Definitely share the video. And if anybody know anything, contact the proper authorities, because this is a sad situation. It could happen to anybody, and it could happen to you next also. Y'all take care. And to New York City, much love.